Waterton waterfront. We're going to ride a ferry today. Second time to ride a ferry. The last time is when JB is 12 years old, and now we're back. He's 21. So how many years? How many years? Wala na kayo. You calculate. It's in 1925 that treaty happened. The United States and Canada has reunited in this place in Waterton. All aboard! We're all aboard! Yan na! Yay! We're all aboard! Hi, man!
Sa likod tayo.
At yan so iPad food din.
We are going.
Upang matulungan umasen from buhay.
O si Mama daw, first time niya makasakay ng barko.
Barko ba ito?
Barko po yan, maliit na barko. Oh, ayan
Alam mo sa
siya.
barko yung may mga kwarto.
Yeah. Ito po, mini barko. Ferry.
Sa bagay, di naman magandang pili.
Okay, bye.
Mahulog yan cellphone mo.
Good afternoon, everyone. Some enthusiasm, that's good. Everybody's ready for a boat ride?
Yeah!
Good. Because there's no changing your mind now. Right? We're on board, we're underway, making way through Emerald Bay. We've got the Waterton working back behind us. Emerald Bay here off the left. First roundabout is called the Bears Hump.
First
Anybody gone up the
song.
Bears Hump yet?
Yes!
No?
Yeah!
Put it on your to-do list for later this afternoon. If you feel like you want some exercise, a lot of exercise, it's short. It's only 1 kilometer long, the hike, but it's straight uphill. But I tell you, the view from up top is one of the best views in the entire national park. So if anybody likes some exercise, like some adventure, hike up to the top of the Bears Hump.
First song.
Now we've been to Wales Hotel on the hill there overlooking the valley. The Bears Hump hike sounds a little too extreme for you. Maybe just make your way up onto the hill here. That's about the second best view from in the national park here. And off the right-hand side now, looking south. And ahead of us in the direction that we're going to travel, some rather interesting looking clouds up ahead. But all things considered, it's not a bad day. A little cooler, a little windier, no water to lake. Give you a view of some of the most beautiful mountain scenery that this part of the world has to offer. We'll say goodbye to the Waterton town site. We'll say goodbye to all of civilization. Imagine the ship and the crew pass with flying colors annually. So we'll take good care of you as you cruise around the lake. The vessel is certified to carry 125 passengers. Today we are about 3/4 full, give or take. We've got more than enough life-saving equipment on board for everybody. 128 adult life jackets and more than enough infant and small child jackets for all the little ones. That's why we sell kids tickets to differentiate and make sure we've got life jackets for all the little ones on board. All around the vessel, we have a first aid kit here up the front, life ring level of the boat, an emergency rescue life sling to help with a man overboard rescue gone up. Lucas will kind of be keeping an eye on things, making sure you use the handrails, take your time, do not slip and fall when you go up and down the stairs. And my name is Keith. I'll be acting as a tour guide for you here today, providing you with a little bit of general information about the national park, pointing out some of the noteworthy features of this area, making myself available to you, all of ours. And that's the special thing about Canada's national parks. These are very special protected areas, preserved for future generations in perpetuity. And preserved for not just Canadian area, maybe like geology, whatever it may be, we can chat about just about anything here today. So if you have questions, feel free to ask. Shout out a question. Yes, raise your hand. What's your question?
Can you sing?
Can I sing? Only after 2. Right now we're by Cameron Bay. That's this area of the lake off the right-hand side, called Cameron Bay. This is the widest spot on the lake right now. And we kind of blast right through the middle of this wide spot so that we get to the good scenery further up ahead. We'll leave the Waterton town site behind. And then we start to dip in and out of the bays, hugging the shoreline, staying close to the 2017 Now Mountain Wildfire. There was a forest fire that started because of a dry lightning strike in late August 2017. Those of you that remember back to 2017, it was a hot, dry year. In fact, I think it was a hot, dry year everywhere in the northern hemisphere that year. It was hot, it was dry. In this place, we were just asking for a forest fire. So when that lightning struck off the side of a mountain in British Columbia, further to the west, off the right-hand side, it started to grow very, very quickly. And that's right, it then jumped over the continental divide, jumped over the top of the mountain range, and infected and saved the Waterton town site. And looking back behind us, they did just that, didn't they? Not a single structure was lost in the town itself, which is pretty amazing considering the magnitude of this forest fire that came through. And it was almost unbelievable how that fire behaved on that particular night. Now fortunately the fire crews had had a couple of days to get their equipment set up, and they basically strung up a network of sprinklers, fire hose all around the edge of the town at the base of the mountain slope, effectively creating a wet perimeter. So when the fire came out of the mountain valley, it swept down the mountainside towards town, and it hit that wet perimeter and was diverted around the edges of the town site. So then part of the fire swept along the lake shore here as we see it, moving further to the south ahead of us. And part of the fire swept along the entrance road, that road that all of you drove in on to come into the national park. Figured they were able to control Mother Nature. And so they employed all sorts of fire prevention techniques and methodologies. But in recent decades, we've realized how important fires are. Without a forest fire, the forest gets old, unnaturally old and unhealthy. And then Mother Nature has to figure out other ways to try to keep the forest healthy. So along come things like all those parasitic insects that you may have heard about. the Rocky Mountain pine beetle. The pine beetle really only target and kill the old, less than healthy trees. If it's a young, healthy tree, it can actually repel, push out that pine. Here on the right-hand side, draining all that fresh snow up in the high country. All that snow is all what's left from last winter. And this, my friends, is one of the reasons why I think this time of the year is a great time to visit Watertown. Because of the scenery here. You've got all those little pockets of snow and ice up a couple of days after the fire burned through. That's when Mother Nature decided to help us out. The winds shifted. The temperatures dropped. We started to get some rain, some moisture, and then that allowed all the fire crews to get in there and put out the few remaining hot spots. So now the forest that we're traveling alongside here at the moment is green, healthy forest. Just to give you some perspective on things, this mountainside actually burned last back in 1935. So we're coming up on the 90-year anniversary of when that landscape burned. So this is what we can expect, only like knee to waist high. It's a lot easier to see animals wandering around in the forest.
Video.
And so we see a lot of the ungulate species. Things like the deer, the sheep, the elk, the moose. And wherever those herbivores go, well, the carnivores follow suit, don't they? The predators follow. And we're seeing a lot more predators in recent years. There's going to be a line in the forest. I'll point it out for you. And then you'll want to have your cameras or your phones handy and take a picture. You'll see the Canada-USA border. We'll talk a little bit more about it at that point in time. But again, you don't need to worry about a passport here today, because we're not going to stop. We're going to go across the borderline, but we're going to continue to cruise around on the lake. And as long as we don't stop the boat anymore and we don't get off the boat, we don't need to worry about customs or passports or anything like that.
Where's that? What is that border?
The borderline, my friends, it starts right at lake level and goes up the mountainside into the background. And the line is now starting to appear on the left as well. So in a moment you'll look off either side of the boat and you'll see this cut line cleared through the trees. Here on the left, we've got one concrete survey marker in the middle of the line here. That is an obelisk, a survey marker that denotes 39 degrees north
the
latitude.
line.
Right on the border, just like that. Everything
We're
ahead
in
of
the
us
US now.
is Glacier National Park, Montana, USA. Everything back behind us still is Waterton Lakes National Park, Alberta, Canada. Captain Steve is going to do a good job. He's going to spin the boat around here so that everybody on all sides of the boat gets a nice view in every direction.
We are now in side border.
Nakita mo yung line? Yung may guhit? Yun yung... Wow. It's all green. Yeah, that's the US na. Yan yung line. Right. Ayan mo. Alam mo yung line na yan. Yung may green. Yan. Kabila na yan is Montana.
Interesting how trees don't grow on the border, eh?
They don't grow in the border.
That's right. That's a human situation there. Homo sapiens, human beings, we're the ones that recognize political borders. The rest of the animals in the area, they don't pay attention to that line. The birds fly back and forth overhead. The fish swim across the line in the lake. It's not like a bear walks up to that line and stops and says, "Oops, I'm a Canadian bear, I better turn around, eh?" Oh, show my bear passport. No, nothing like that.
Amphibians over there.
It's just us people that recognize the lines, and I do understand that they are necessary. Now we're lucky here between Canada and the United States. We share an incredibly long border, and I think I can still say we share the longest undefended border on the planet. I think I can still say that safely. Things have certainly changed over the years. Those of you that remember crossing the border between Canada and the U.S. pre 9/11, way back in those times, it was real easy then. Basically, you just waved, you said hi, see you later. Driver's license, that was about it. And then, well, the whole world changed at that point, didn't it? Yeah, the whole world changed then. And crossing borders became an entirely different experience. Oh, Peace Mark, the first of its kind anywhere on the planet. Good question here. How deep is the lake? Depth on this upper Waterton Lake is 220 feet, 80 meters on average. Now, just off our right, back on the Canadian side of the borderline, that's where the official deep spot is. And the sounding there is 487 feet, 148 meters, which makes this the deepest natural lake in all of the Canadian Rockies. And this lake is home to a number of different fish species. The main species being lake trout, or the Mackinaw, big ugly fish. But this lake is home to almost every other type of trout species that you can imagine. So for example, we have the rainbow trout. The fish, if anybody likes to go fishing and wants to try fishing someday, right at the mouth of Boundary Creek as it flows into the lake here. This is one of the largest tributaries that feed into this lake. And a beautiful photo opportunity as well, if anybody's into photography. This is called point source water, fresh, pure, clean, glacial melt.
Wow.
This is all glacial water, yes. There's a glacial remnant in the valley up ahead of us, way back in the Boundary Valley. And the meltwaters drain right down here into this lake. And from here, the waters flow north. Where do you think it goes? It goes out through the Waterton River, which joins up with the Belly River. Through the clouds right now. That makes for kind of a nice photo, I think. But I feel like I've been talking and rambling on the whole boat ride up to this point in time. And some of you are probably starting to wonder, does this guy ever shut up? So I'm going to do just that for the next few minutes. I'm going to be quiet. I'm going to put the microphone down, give you some silent time, and just sit back, relax, enjoy the boat ride without the sound of my voice droning on. What I'll do in the meantime, though, is I will circulate around. Okay, I'll take a walk around the boat. If you have any other questions, just wave me down. Got my attention?
Ano naman experience mo? Diba? Hindi naman nakakahilo ah. Tingin din sa labo. Ayan. Para maganda.
worth of ice on the surface of the lake here. Yes. Yep. Yeah, the winter season, November through March, early April. But the national park is open officially all year round. So you could come visit here in the wintertime. And if you ever get the opportunity, I would encourage you to come check this place out in the winter. Right now, you're seeing Waterton at its busiest. This weekend was Waterton at its busiest. Everything's happening. People are in town. It's go, go, go. But in the wintertime, it's another story. 50 year-round residents on a good day. The official count is 108. That's what the census claims. But as one of those, I'll tell you, I think that's a little bit of an optimistic number. A couple hotels remain open all year round. Both have a restaurant on site. There's one gift shop that opens up on weekends in the wintertime. The liquor store is open 24/7. That gives you an idea of what goes on here in the wintertime. No, I'm just kidding. The plow the road, so you can drive into the park. There's up and backcountry skiing and cross-country skiing, but no downhill ski resort. The nearest downhill resort, and it's important that when you visit Waterton, you do come for a boat ride, because if you didn't, well, Captain Steve and Junior Captain Jayden and Lucas and myself, we'd all be out of a job. And then we'd have to go into the real world and find real jobs somewhere. This is way too much fun. So I just want to say on behalf of our company, Shoreline Cruises, and all of us here at the Waterton Marina, and in fact, on behalf of everybody in the tourism industry in Waterton Lakes National Park, thank you very, very much for coming down to Waterton. We really, really do appreciate your patronage. Hopefully everybody enjoyed themselves, had some fun, maybe learned a thing or two here today. Got to do something that you don't normally get to do on your day-to-day lives. Again, my friends, it has been my pleasure. I'll be outside if you have any last questions, comments, any directions, or want to let me know how I did. Otherwise, take care. Safe travels home after this, and come see us again someday in the future. Thank you.
Bye. Yay! Good job.
Other than that, I'll be with you in about 1 minute.